candidate to the other. We've got the management of Century Plyboards joining us on the show. Mr. Keshav Bhajanka, the ED, is joining us on the show right now. Mr. Bhajanka, hi, morning, and good to be speaking with you. Very good set of numbers yet again for the company. Talk to us about how the quarter has shaped up for you, and more importantly, as you keep growing and as the base also keeps growing, can we expect to see this momentum sustain into FY27 as well?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I think, as you have rightly pointed out, it has been a very strong quarter and a very strong year. Overall, revenues have been up by 25%, and this has been cross segments. So, our plywood segment has grown by 18%, laminate by 16%, particle board and MDF by 30 and 100% respectively. So, I think that there has been very strong momentum on our side. As the base has increased, yes, challenges do increase and growth on the base becomes that much more difficult. But on the ground, we are seeing fantastic traction. I think April has been our best month till date in the history of our company. So that bodes quite well for us. And going forward, I can see this growth momentum to sustain.
Mr. Bhajanka, morning. Ashesha this side. Since you're telling us that April has been a very strong month for you, can you quantify that for us? What kind of volume growth did you see in the fourth quarter, and what kind of growth are you now penciling in for the first quarter of FY27?
So unfortunately, we have removed guidance for the time being. The predominant reason being the Middle East situation. So, there's a lot of volatility. Every day, something or the other seems to keep on changing. So at this point in time, we're not giving guidance, but what I can safely say is that the start of the year has been fairly robust, and we are going to see, I hope, a very strong year going forward as well.
Understand that you are also seeing the impact of the Middle East war, and which is why the guidance has been withheld for now. But Mr. Bhajanka, on that note, also help us understand, have you seen any disruption when it comes to pricing? Have you undertaken any pricing action to try and mitigate some of this impact that we're seeing?
Definitely. I think we have taken multiple price hikes across a variety of our products. Plywood in excess of 5%, laminates in excess of 10%, MDF closer to 15%, particle board in excess of 10%. So, the basic impact has been on raw material prices in the form of resin, the chemicals that we are using, because most of them are internationally traded commodities that are crude derivatives. As you know, crude has seen a lot of volatility. Alongside that, our raw materials have also. So we are playing it by the ear. I think that as and when things change, we try passing on to the market. There's a slight bit of lag because the market also, our typical price increases are 2-3%. So such massive jumps take a little bit of time to stabilize in the market. But having said that, as of now, I think we have been able to reasonably pass on the increases. There could be a slight lag, but going forward, I think margins will come back within our guided parameters, say from next quarter onwards.
Okay, understood. Mr. Bhajanka, on that note, I just wanted to follow up. Now that you've taken price hikes to mitigate the impact and secure your margins, are you seeing any impact on demand, any reduction or any slowdown on that front now that the price hikes are at play?
I don't think so, because these price hikes aren't just for us. It is for the industry in general. So when the industry as a whole is forced to take a price increase, the normal base changes. So it's not that our competitiveness changes in any meaningful way. We would still be at a similar delta to competition, whether it is organized or unorganized, as we were before, just at a higher base level. So I don't think there's been any impact on demand. Yes, there could be a certain period of stocking, destocking as these changes play out, but that is temporary.
Since you spoke about price hikes, as a percentage of raw material price increase, how much has the price hike been? And will there be any impact on margins in the coming quarters?
I think there have been two impacts when it comes to core, face, paper. The basic impact has only been the change in the forex, the currency changes, which have been 2 to 3% over the course of the last couple of months. When it comes to resins, the impact has been close to 70, 80, 100% also, and it keeps fluctuating. So overall, as a base of cost, the price increases we have taken are largely in line to offset the same. So different products have seen different sort of raw material inflation. Like I said, MDF higher, plywood lower. It is difficult to quantify product by product, but overall, the increases have been predominantly driven by resins, and this impact has largely been passed on.
The impact of raw material prices have largely been passed on, and there will be no significant impact on margins is what you're telling us. Mr. Bhajanka, I wanted your understanding of how much you export to the Middle Eastern region, and has there been any impact on account of West Asia crisis on export demand to these regions?
Our exports from Middle East are negligible, so there has been no meaningful impact on us. Exports as an overall percentage of our turnover is close to 4%, and out of export percentage, Middle East would be less than 5%. So, as a percentage of overall turnover, it would be in decimals of a percentage point. Having said that, there has been certain impact because containers have been delayed. There have been delays in shipments, so there has been rerouting because of this crisis. So some of those impacts play in, but that is about demand difference, or that is about supply difference. It is not about a change in the actual demand.
And Mr. Bhajanka, what about the plant that you're setting up in Odisha? How much will the capacity increase by, and when will it come on stream, and when will it ultimately start contributing to your revenue?
So for Odisha, it is an MOU at this point in time. We are still actively exploring. We have not finalized on Odisha, but given that the opportunity was there and we were able to get a time with the government, we have signed an MOU towards setting up a plant in Odisha. It is still under deliberation stage. So there's nothing concrete or finalized with regards to setting up a plant in Odisha yet. We had informed the board that this step has been taken. As such, we had to inform the stock exchange of the same.
Understood. So that's as far as Capex plans are concerned. Mr. Bhajanka, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now and helping us understand what the fourth quarter looked like and what the outlook is for FY27. Thanks so much for joining us today. On that note, we need to slip into a very short break, but we will be talking to the management of Hindalco in just a bit after a short break.